Hello, and welcome to another episode of 3 a.m. Conversations. I am your host, Jacqueline Smith, and I have been MIA, and I apologize, but so much has been going on, both in my life and also out there in the world. I'm just coming off a trip from Atlanta, having a wonderful time out there, coming back, work stuff, also coming back, catching a cold, trying to heal from that. Then you have all this Drake and Kendrick beef. I mean, it's a lot happening, but I'm here for it because Cat Williams said 2024 is the year of truth. All truths will be revealed, and I am here for it. If you are not here for it, if you are not leading or abiding by rules of God and faith and moral standard and character, I feel sorry for you because it's up for you in 2024 and beyond. But I knew I had to record, and I just wanted to make sure that I felt better physically first to come and speak to you guys. This episode really doesn't have any rhyme or reason. I just wanted to come on here and just talk a little bit about what I'm feeling and how I'm feeling spiritually. So a lot of things has been happening since the top of the year. Like, God has been, since the clock struck 12, January 1st, God revealed to me a word, and I've held on to that word because it's something that means a lot to me, and I'm standing in agreement with God and walking in faith with Him, and I just feel myself becoming. I can't explain it. I put it into words, but I just feel myself becoming so much more confident and centered and focused and expressive and careful and precious and delicate and feminine, but still maintaining my strength and commanding presence. Something is happening within me, and I think that it's permeating through my pores, because even when I walk outside of my door, animals just stop and stare at me. And they always say, animals can pick up on energy and spirits, and they can judge, a good sense of judgment if whoever is, carrying good or bad energy. But I see dogs coming up to me. This has never happened to me anymore. Dogs and their owners have no other choice but to bring their dogs to me. Dogs would just come to me and want me to pet them and hug them and just love on them. And I don't know what I'm exuding. I've never met these dogs before, but this is happening to me more and more. I feel like this light coming from me, and it is so beautiful. And I think that is what they're picking up on. It's a sense of pure happiness, peace, joy, being comfortable in my own skin, lacking nothing, wanting nothing. It's a beautiful feeling. And it's one that I've worked very hard to achieve. And I am beyond blessed. Beyond blessed. And I had a chance to speak with my aunt the other day. And she just told me, she asked for my advice on something, going out alone, because she knows she knows me to be someone that is like, unafraid to do that. Just being able to go. And sometimes you have to go it alone. And she is embarking on this new stage in her life where she is going out into the world alone by herself. And she wanted advice on what that feels like, how I got to the point of just being comfortable in my own skin. And I told her, like, this is years in the making. This is what being someone that's not really interested in the in crowd, that's not really interested in being popular, that's more interested in discovering purpose and the beauty of life and the beauty of love and the beauty of God's love. And I didn't have any need to constantly be in the presence of others, because it is something about loving and being in your own company that I'm noticing and realizing many cannot do, and that it is a gift. But to me, it just comes naturally. I enjoy my company immensely. Now, I don't know how that's going to be in the future when I find a partner and, we have children and we build our family together. How I would feel then, I'll let you know when that happens. But as of right now, I kind of encourage everyone to have some alone time, whatever you can spare, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour of just being in your company, being in your thoughts, getting your opinion on things, not even without your phone, without the influence of the internet, but sitting peacefully within yourself and just communing with God, because, that's where you'll find him. And I'm giving her this advice. I'm telling her, giving her certain tips that she can do to, bring this out more. And she was like, Niche, you are so wise. And how'd you get this? Where'd you get this wisdom? And it's just, I told her, I know myself. I'm learning myself, and I'm falling in love with myself. And it is this energy that I think are attracting others. Like, in Atlanta, I met someone, and, occasionally I'll, meet someone on a trip, but, he's coming on very intensely, very fast. And, I'm telling him to pump his brakes. But, that is, very new to me. And then I have people calling me, asking me if I can, if I'm willing to go on a blind date with somebody they're trying to set me up with. Now, this does not happen to me. And it's been happening back to back to back. I'm going out, I'm meeting people, even on my walk. I met someone else. Again, these instances have been happening back to back to back. And I think it's because other people probably sense my peace and my happiness and my understanding that, I don't need you, but I would like to have you in my company. There's a difference between being needy and wanting somebody and yearning and longing and feeling an emptiness that someone has to fill. And that's a huge responsibility, one that none of us should have to take on, because when we enter relationships, we should enter as whole human beings. And knowing that, if you are not in the right space mentally and emotionally, you'll know, like, this is no place for me, that I need some time alone. And, all of this understanding and being able to communicate exactly what it is that I'm experiencing at this moment in my life. For my aunt to say that I am wise is the greatest honor. And again, when I started this podcast, I didn't know where it was going to lead. And I was flipping through my journal, trying to find like something I should talk about, something that I wrote about that I wanted to mention. And then I came across this Bible verse because lately in my journal entries, I seal my journal entries with the Bible verse. I've started doing that for the past couple of months. I don't know why I started doing that, but I do. And I think God is leading me to something, and that's something I'm definitely going to have to work on. But the Bible verse that I ended up flipping to is Proverbs 3, starting at verse 13. And it reads, "Blessed are those who find wisdom, those who gain understanding. For she is more profitable than silver and yields better returns than gold. She is more precious than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with her. Long life is in her right hand, in her left hand are riches and honor. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who take hold of her. Those who hold her fast will be blessed." And baby, I literally said these words are exactly how I feel inside. I feel immensely blessed. I feel full of life. I feel rich in joy and happiness. I feel, I may not have all the riches in the world, but I feel like I have everything that I need. Food over my head. Roof over my head. food in my kitchen, clothes on my back, a smile on my face, peace in my heart. I couldn't ask for more. And for my aunt to recognize that, it must mean that she too is experiencing or feeling what I am feeling right now. And I don't know, I'm just beyond excited and happy and looking forward to what the future holds and what God has for me. Yes. And all the things. It's funny because when I was in Atlanta, I was getting dressed to meet my sister who lives out there, and Cinderella came on. And child, how many of us have seen Cinderella? Like, decades old movies. I think it came out in like the 1920s, 1930s. But I was captivated by Cinderella. We were supposed to go out to brunch, and I was like, wait, I gotta watch this part. I was captivated by the movie Cinderella. And so much so that when I came home, I actually watched it. I watched it with a pen and paper. And I said, I told you in my previous episodes of my podcast that God speaks to me through movies. And I said, God, what do you want me to see in this movie? What do you want me to know? And the things that I saw in this movie is that Cinderella was loved as a little girl. She was kept up by her father, watched over by him, and then he passed away. And he loved her. He loved her so much and knew that he had to find a wife to provide her proper guidance. He wasn't selfish to just think of only his needs, but wanted a wife so the wife can show her things that he couldn't as a man. He ultimately passes away. The stepmother sees Cinderella, and she has daughters of her own, and they just end up using and abusing her, turning her into a housemaid, throwing her up into the attic and shackles of their mansion, where she is made to make friends with birds and mice who prepare her clothes for her and sing to her and greet her in the morning. But one thing I did notice, a couple of things, but what I've noticed in the beginning of the movie is that she wakes up with a dream that she doesn't want to reveal because it's so precious and so beautiful to her that she holds on to it. And that's what keeps the smile on her face. But in her view, the view that she woke up to every morning was the view of the castle. Watch Cinderella, y'all. There's a message in there. Her view every morning when she woke up in that lonely, desolate place was a view of her future that she did not know. and all those animals that came to greet her and show her reverence and prepare her clothes and her dress to get up and do the work that humiliated her and degraded her, but she still found happiness in her singing, a pride in her work, and she did it with honor. And a day comes when she is finally able to be recognized, when the king announces that he wants all eligible women to come to his castle. And she said, wait a minute, that includes me. I have the chance to go to the king's ball. And of course, you know how the story goes. She finds a dress that her mother wore and was going to design a dress, that fit with the more modern times. And she was so excited and so thrilled. But immediately she is called to be at the wait hand and foot to her stepmother and her children, that she doesn't even have time to come back and fix her own dress. But what she doesn't know is that the animals that thanked her, that love her for the watchful care that she had over them, prepared her dress for her so that she can go to the ball on time when the carriage arrived. Thrilled and happy, probably not even going in the condition that she wanted to go in. Didn't even have time to take a shower, child. She threw on that dress. She threw on that dress because she knew, if I can just get in the building, if I could just get close enough to even receive a piece of my dream, it's worth it. It's all worth it. I don't even care if my hair is not how I want it to look. If I didn't get to do my nails, if my dress didn't come out quite right, it's here. I'm going to use what I have to work with and work it when I get to the castle. Now, what's interesting about this dress that Cinderella had on, it was made from pieces of material that were thrown and discarded by her stepsisters. And so her rodent friends gathered up all those materials and made it into something beautiful for her. But God knows that you cannot arrive at your destiny in someone else's thrown away garments. Woo! Tossed to the side, discarded materials. No. Coming to your destiny in someone else's dress. I don't even care if it is your mother's. It was your mother's. It's someone else's dress. And so what she thought was the most horrible thing with her stepsisters, ripping her dress apart, tearing it to shreds, and then leaving to go off to the ball, leaving Cinderella an emotional mess because she thought this was her one and only chance. And it's the first time in Cinderella that you see her cry. She wasn't crying when she had to sweep the floors and mop the floors and do the laundry and cook and feed the animals and take care of the cat and take care of the dog. She didn't cry then. In fact, she had a song in her heart. But when they tore her hope apart, when they took away the one thing that she had to look forward to, it broke her. Sorry, y'all. I'm getting emotional just thinking about this movie all over again, because how many of us have been in this situation, are going through this situation right at this very moment, and can sympathize and empathize with what Cinderella is feeling at that exact moment. She is feeling defeated. She is feeling hopeless. She is feeling stuck. She is feeling unworthy and discarded and disrespected and less than the woman that she is. And who comes to her side in the midst of her sadness? Her fairy godmother shows up, which I'm just going to say is an angel. Her angel shows up and was able to turn what wasn't or couldn't be into what is. Hallelujah. Turned a pumpkin into a carriage, a dog into a footman, mice into horse, and rags into the most beautiful gown anyone has ever seen. That would allow her to arrive to her destiny in style, in something that was custom and made just for her. She goes to the ball, not even running to see where the prince is. She arrives to the ball and is so beautiful and so eye-popping and jaw-dropping that even the men, the guardsmen that are watching the door, turn their eyes to look at her. They didn't move their heads or their bodies, but they turn their eyes to look at her. And as she goes up those stairs, she doesn't run to the ball. She is just in awe of where she is. Because her dream had finally come true. She was in her dream. It was real. And then the most beautiful thing happens. The prince sees her, excuses everyone, and walks up to her and doesn't, introduces himself and escorts her to the dance. And they have their first dance on the ballroom floor. And then he whisks her way into the night where they have a one-on-one moment to get to know each other, to talk, to laugh. So much so that time passes, Cinderella doesn't even realize that she was given the order to return home before midnight. So she leaves, content and happy that it even happened. Thinking that was the most beautiful and wonderful experience that she could ever have. But God said it's not over because he left something behind. So that the prince can find who the mystery woman is. And even declare to his father, whoever that woman is that I danced with and had that conversation with and walked through the gardens with, that is my wife. Find her and I will marry her. No ifs, ands, or buts, no courted, no dated. He knew. And what does the Bible say? It is he who finds a wife. Cinderella didn't go to that ball looking for no prince. She wanted the experience. She wanted to live in her dream. She just wanted to be loved and in love. Child, and you know the rest of the story. They get the glass slipper. They go to the house. Nobody can fit the daggone slipper. Nobody can fit in her shoes. Message. None of those girls in that entire village could walk and try on Cinderella's shoe. And the hating old stepmother tried to lock her in the tower. So when the workers of the castle came by and asked who are the available young ladies in this house, she totally excluded her. But it was Cinderella's compassion and care for the animals who came and was able to open her door and set her free. And let's not forget to mention, child, that the cat in the film was called Lucifer. Child, y'all better get into the spirituality of this movie, okay? Cinderella comes down the stairs and says, hey, don't forget about me. Just when they was about to leave, she slips that shoe on, and the rest is history. And, I don't know why God wanted me to watch that, child. I don't know why, but you heard me crying on this, just recalling the story. But I guess he sent that movie as a message of hope, a message of I see you, a message of don't give up. Your blessing is around the corner. Don't give up. And so I will leave you there with that message of don't give up. Your prince is on the way. Your dark days are over. Your days of dusting, sweeping, mopping, tending to everybody else, even though they treat you so bad. And you still continue to serve and be obedient and serve and smile and sing with a song in your heart. Your blessing is coming. So don't give up. You will have your happily ever after. And with that said, this is your host, Jacqueline Smith, and thank you for listening to another episode of 3 a.m. Conversations. Bye, y'all.